Time the fuck out. I didn't even get started on what I was going to say. Yeah.
Bro, that movie was crazy.
Crazy, Francie.
Yeah. What are the specials tonight?
That sounds good. I'll have that.
Hey everyone, Specialist in Nothing, back at you again, talking about everything, specializing in nothing. My name is Frank. As always, Danny, Joe, say what up.
What up?
How we doing?
That was a silent type.
I mean, I did a little thing, but then I realized that people can't see me. So, hi.
Matt, what little thing?
Hey.
Throwing the peace sign up in this piece.
Joe's all about the piece.
All about the piece. So there's a lot going on about, well, there's actually not enough going on about this Giselle Epstein case.
Isn't it Ghislaine?
Ghislaine? Gazelle? Not a
Isn't
gazelle.
it like G-H-L, G-S-H-I-L or something like that? It's like Ghislaine. It's definitely not spelled like Giselle. I don't know. It's weird.
No. Miss Maxwell, we'll call her.
There you go.
I don't know what the fuck is going on. Real talk. And I can't find shit about it. But you, Joe, mentioned earlier that it was a federal case, and that's why they're not talking about it. I know you hate it, but I did it.
No, that's not what I said.
Yeah,
but it is a federal case, so you're not going to see it like right away, but there is a lot of stuff on it. There's stuff there. You're not looking hard enough, or you don't know where to look.
Everything just gives me like sketches of the fucking jury, and it's telling me like what's gonna go on at the trial, but I don't know what's happening. I can't be up to date with it.
Yeah, I haven't seen any like updated things. For me, it was like I heard that the first day she had to address all of the claims that she put in about being transferred out of the jail and why and whatever. Like it was like 9 different claims, so she had to address each one of those. But other than finding that, I really couldn't find anything myself either until you just said that you found whatever.
I can't find any documents about it.
I mean, to be fair, the case just started a couple days ago, literally.
Yeah, and exactly like he said, like we were saying earlier,
they have a lot of introduction to do, and like you're not going to see nothing yet. And I did read. I think she questioned one of the pilots.
Well, and because it's a federal case,
Express.
Because it's a federal case, like we were saying, it's going to be limited to what they put out. Like they're going to release what they want. Like it's okay.
No, it don't work like that. They're not going to. No, that's not how that works. Everything gets released, but it's just the time from anything else is going to be a little different. That's all.
No, but a federal case isn't just the U.S. Bro. That's what I'm saying. That's why it's not necessarily everything is just released.
It is. It's on U.S. soil. She's going to court here in America.
I know she's going to court here, but the difference of a federal case and a non-federal case, that's the difference. There's other countries that are involved, so you have to abide by federal laws rather than our state laws, which means they don't always do that.
But they're not withholding anything.
I'm not saying they're withholding. I'm not saying they're withholding, but there's going to be certain things about the case that aren't going to be released in the media 100%. Not because it's a scheme or a thing like that.
I think we're going to know every single thing that happens in this case.
At the end.
100%.
Yeah, after the verdict comes out.
Do you think we'll know if she kills herself before or after she kills herself?
I don't think that's going to be a thing this time around. No, I really don't. I feel like it would have happened already.
Yeah, me too.
I agree. I feel like she's kind of going to play ball and see what happens. Like she's not going to expose everything that Epstein would have exposed. And she's like, look, I'll do my time and then you pay me out when I get out. And that's it. You know, like,
I think she's going to expose enough. I do think she's exposed enough, but I do think she's still going to jail. I still think she's going to be found guilty and that she was still a part of it.
Part of what? Human sex trafficking?
Mm-hmm.
You want to Frankopedia that shit?
So human trafficking involves the use of force, fraud, or coercion to obtain some type of labor or commercial sex act. Every year, there is millions of men and women and children that are trafficked worldwide, including the United States, 100%. And like the movie Taken, that is real. That stuff happens all the time. Like there's crazy clips that you actually can look up and see from like CCTV footage and like security cameras in stores and stuff of like parents standing there with their kids and like their kids getting snatched up right from them. Like not even like in the sense of like how you would say like, oh, don't go talk to a stranger in the Disney park because they'll take you to go get boxing. Don't get me wrong, that happens too. But there's some bad ones that like you could be walking down the sidewalk and there's a van that comes by and they just grab your kid and snatch him and get in the van and drive off. Like this shit really happens all over the place.
That's fucking crazy.
And it's terrible, dude. It's so terrible. How much money that they make on that shit, it's terrible because that's the reason why. I don't want to say never because you don't want to kill that hope in a sense, but I personally don't think it'll never be ended. Yeah. It'll never be ended because even if you catch someone or some certain part of the ring or something like that, like it was so lucrative or there's so much of it that you're never going to stop all of it. And it's terrible. It's terrible. And there's always some rich fucked up person that's going to be willing to pay that extra money to keep it extra secret, to keep it so they don't get in trouble to whatever. And that's why it's so lucrative.
Joe, you seen the movie Taken?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite movies.
How do you think? All right, basically, if you're not Liam Neeson, your dad's not coming to get you. You know?
My dad's coming to get me, bro.
I was going to say, I mean, I would still do everything I could. Like, did you ever see the one?
Papa Yotis is coming to fucking find where the fuck I'm at.
Yeah. Plot twist: Papa Yotis is the one who got you kidnapped.
not gonna.
Won't have passed him. No, he wouldn't do that. I feel like your dad would go beyond to try to fucking bring you home. But in reality, like as a normal person, if that's your child, like how the fuck are you gonna? Good luck. That's all you could do. And you
I know you said Taken because I said Taken and you use Liam Neeson as a reference, but did you ever see Ryan Reynolds, The Captive? So in Taken.
Wait, is that with Hugh Jackman? That's something else.
I don't think. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think so.
Okay.
No,
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah. So, but anyway, Ryan Reynolds. Like, so in the other movie in Taken, like Liam Neeson is someone that hunts people and that like does all that stuff. So he had that skill set already. He said that on the phone to the guy. In The Captive, Ryan Reynolds is just like a regular dad. He's taking his girl to figure skating practice. And when they're going home, he goes into this bakery to get her a pie and leaves her in the back of the seat of the truck. She gets kidnapped. And he does everything in his power to find his daughter. And he ends up finding her and he's just a regular dad. So I think it really just depends on the situation.
Hugh Jackman one, Danny.
I'm not gonna say that it happens often because obviously the stats are where most of the time if you don't find them and like or something terrible does happen, it is fucked up.
They wind up on a
milk carton. You can still find. It is possible. You don't necessarily have to be Liam Neeson. That was just my point to that.
Thank you for that long, extensive explanation.
With two movie reviews.
I didn't see the movie Prisoners, but it's been on my list for a long time. That's what Hugh Jackman, I think him and his neighbor, their children.
Yeah, bro.
Joe, do you see it?
So freaking amazing, dude. Oh my God, such a good movie.
I didn't see it.
And it's like in a house. He keeps him in a basement. The guy builds this whole fucking thing. And it's nuts.
That's really good. Crazy. So do you think, all right, now to kind of relate to this whole Epstein Maxwell thing, were they these people, the children that were being trafficked, were they kept or were they just being used for sex and then being let go?
I don't know, bro. This shit happens all over the world.
Yeah, I was gonna say
they keep them in containers, they keep them in houses, tunnels.
They keep them.
They do so much. Yeah, they drug them up. You know what I mean?
And if it was that big, I'm sure it depends on the buyer. Like, they want someone for sex, they want someone for labor, they want someone for whatever.
Right. You mentioned this before. It'll never stop. It's the same as drugs, bro. No matter what you do to fight against it, it's one of those things that it's just always gonna happen because it happens all over the world. It's such a big thing. It's such a secretive. You know what I mean? It just.
I feel you.
It's part of the balance for every good and evil thing, you know.
There is a list of celebrities that are trying to do a lot for this whole movement, you know.
Some of them love Ashton Kutcher.
Yo, Ashton Kutcher and Demi Moore.
Fucking love him, dude. His whole organization, they said that he's found in his organization more kids than like the FBI or the CIA or like something like that. Like he's actually found more kids than them. It's fucking amazing.
It's wild, dude. Ashton Kutcher and Demi Moore. Then there's Carrie Underwood. and Kristen Bell. They have an organization. David Beckham, Emma Thomas, and Blake Lively.
Mm-hmm.
Those are just a few celebrities that are actually doing shit and trying to make this thing happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunate, but speaking of celebrities, though, there's been so many celebrities, and I don't want to say elite, but like a lot of politicians that have been to Epstein Island, and he's got records of that shit. Did you guys see the documentary by any chance?
Yeah, the one on Netflix about him.
Yeah, there was
That was good.
It was like a 4-part series, right?
Yeah, it was really good. Actually, I think it might have been even 6 parts.
Maybe it was 6 parts. I don't really remember, to be honest. I saw it I think I saw it when it first came out. I haven't
Yeah, it
really
was like
checked
a year and a
then.
half, 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
Might even have been longer than that.
I think it was. I saw in 2019
because I don't remember.
Yeah, I saw in 2019.
It'll be about 2 years now.
It
came out shortly after he
killed himself.
Right. That's how that
Quote,
shit
unquote.
works, though. You bring one in, you do whatever. If they're like, no, I don't want it, then I think, was it Giselle Maxwell or whatever? She was like, well, go tell your friends and we'll give you money for all the friends that you bring. And then that person would go out. It's like a triangle. It's like a
so the supposed allegation was that she would be the one exactly to say to these girls, like, we can make you a lot of money. We could do this. You can come out, just have a party, come hang out. That's not blah, blah, blah. The girls would come. They would, drink. They would get drugged or whatever. That's not. They would get offered money, and then they would have to perform these acts or whatever, and then go home without saying anything about it or telling anybody or whatever. And that was the deal of
actually. I'm gonna stop you. The whole thing was he would hire girls over to do stuff around his house and then tell them they had to massage him. It was like he called it a special thing or whatever it was. It was like a fucking room he had made for it and everything.
Yep, you're right.
And like he would bring them into the room. He would have them like start massaging him. He would eventually get himself naked, all that bullshit. You know what I mean? And then like slowly coerce the girl into doing what he wanted. Then him or Giselle, they would come in and say, hey, listen, we could do this every couple of weeks. You could bring in your friends. It's simple. You come here, you just take care of him and you get paid, whatever. Yeah. Right. And he takes care of you. And that's how
these girls would go tell their friends at it.
Right. And the girls would tell their friends. And then most of the time it was a lot of underage girls from families that were runaways or needed work or, you know what I mean? Whatever their situation was.
Yeah, girls that had broken homes and stuff like that to where
that needed the money, right?
They weren't there for a while. They wouldn't be as noticed, or if something did happen, they weren't noticed, or if they came back with a bunch of money or something, it was needed. So there was not questions asked in a sense.
Yeah, and it was a lot of there was a lot of that because there was a lot of people who would do.
I will say some of them came back, some of them didn't. Because in the documentary, there was like a couple girls that said like they came back. He kept trying to get them to come and they didn't want to. Like the girl that had the headlights in her bedroom window or whatever. And then there was other ones that they said that they didn't know if they came back or not. They couldn't interview them and stuff like that.
Yeah, they couldn't get a lot of people to agree to do the interview for that whole documentary. But the whole thing that happened was a girl's mom eventually saw that she had like sexual like she was like 14 or something like that.
12 to 16, I think they were
right. Yes, those type of girls. This specific girl that broke him, it was like a 14-year-old, and like she got caught. The mom called the police. They went there. They checked her. Now apparently, when they checked like her thing, it showed that her ID said she was over 18, but they never checked it anyway. One of the maids had admitted that they just never really checked the ID. They would always put that they were 18, and yeah, man. And then that's when the FBI decided to raid his house and they started to see everything and find shit slowly.
Dude, he had a fucking ledger of dates and times and names of so many famous people and like elite people and powerful politicians. And but wasn't
but he's
the Queen's son was there a bunch of times, right?
He is a big broker. He's a big financer. He's like, he's not
would go
just
there to
known
talk
for
business.
this.
Some people could have been there for business.
He was a really smart guy. He was a physicist in like a really big school in Manhattan at a young age. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He ended up starting his own firm. He worked for a big firm. He was smarter than everybody there. Nobody liked it. He started his own firm. He's like a genius. He's very good at that shit. He's a smart man. And he made himself a lot of money off of legal shit in the beginning. Like, just... And so yeah, he did. He worked his way into powerful people and names, and he was at all these big parties around the city. You know what I mean? It's just that's what comes with that type of work that he was doing.
I was
He's
saying,
had
I
a
think
lot
with the
of really
ledgers,
high profile
yeah,
clients.
no, I think with
So
the
it's
stuff like
not normal to have all those people
Yeah.
in his ledger.
well, I was just saying with the ledgers and stuff, I think it was like his way to blend it or hide it for so long and kind of get away with it. Like whereas his illegal stuff was mixed in with all of his business stuff, and that's why he kept it so organized and why he was so good at it for so long.
Right,
in a
right.
sense, in a bad way, but yeah, because he had all that stuff and he was so smart, and that's how the way he ran his businesses. It kind of makes sense for him to like do all that with everything, but it also makes sense like I really wish that he didn't die and he would have been the one that went to trial.
Yeah.
Because I really am
Exposed all that
curious
shit.
how much he would have really been able to let out. Because someone
I
that
think-
keeps records like that is doing it for a reason. Like, you know, you don't keep stuff like that after a certain amount of years,
Yeah.
you know, unless you're keeping it for a reason to save yourself or whatever, God forbid. So
It was his, yeah.
it was his get out of jail free card, but yeah, it was his way to get less, to get rid of a lot of other people and stuff. You know what I mean?
Facts.
I
like
think
if
he
I
would.
go down,
I
you're coming with me
personally,
type of shit.
I personally think he would have killed himself anyway.
I don't.
Yeah,
really
but I
do.
still think he would have
Himself.
exposed people first, because again,
Mhm.
someone in that situation, like Danny said, a lot of people think like that. If I'm going down, you're going down with me. Like I'm not going down
True.
for this by myself.
Right.
That's why there's so many things that like fall or break up or whatever it is, because
Right. A lot of people do have that instinct. But if you look at his history and his life and just the statistics of all his recent moves that he's done in his life, chances are he wouldn't have done that.
I think that's why it was a perfect cover up to say he killed himself.
Yeah.
I think that's why
Maybe.
he was killed, and that was the
The
perfect
cameras
cover-up.
just happen to go out and the guards just happen to not be there. Like,
I don't think that he killed himself. I'm not saying an Illuminati thing. I'm not whatever, but I don't think that he killed himself. I think it was someone that like,
had to do some
again,
type of
even if it
inside
was
job.
one other person that like he just did the sex trafficking with, that was also a billionaire that just didn't want to be found out, and that's who he was going to expose, and it was just one person. That person could have still been like, yo, we have to do whatever we can. I don't care how much money it costs. Get someone to get in there and fucking kill this motherfucker. That does happen. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be a conspiracy Illuminati thing. Like that does happen.
No.
And the way he died and the whole way the story went, especially like how the documentary painted the picture for you. I know that did that on
Right.
purpose to get people to think that. But even with the facts, like trying to argue the other way, it's just a little bit of a reach to say that he didn't kill it or that he didn't get murdered. Like I don't know. It's
I
crazy.
I think he did get murdered. Not one.
No, I don't think he did.
You know what I mean?
I was just saying that. I know you said because
You
you said
don't think
last
he
week.
was? You don't think he was murdered?
No, I do think he was murdered.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying. But I know you agree because you said that last week. I was just kind of laying it out like that because that's just how I think about it.
I think that I'm gonna get in it. I think that the Clintons have been to that island more than once for several reasons. Maybe it was business, but the shit that I found out, it's kind of involved in something called Pizzagate. Are you guys familiar with
Heard
Pizzagate?
about it. I watched the documentary on it.
All right.
on YouTube.
So Pizzagate is basically it's this Comet ping pong pizzeria. I forgot where it is, but Podesta and Hillary Clinton, they apparently were using this as like a child trafficking ring headquarters type of shit.
Mhm.
And I don't know the
This
entire
is where
story.
the logos came in and the triangles and stuff like
Right.
that. How they knew
Right.
what certain pizza places or what businesses had it, and whatever. This is where like the ring came into place, which is like hence why
So-
we think the Illuminati shit.
The guy John Podesta, his emails got hacked, and there were messages between him and Hillary about it was in code, but it was about child trafficking and shit. So I have a couple stuff here that I want to share with you because it was so fucking interesting. So one of the emails, or I guess you could say, yeah, one of the emails that were leaked from like social media and stuff, they use codes and things like this. And I'll explain to you as I go, but there's one of them from someone to someone. I'm not going to say who it is, but whatever. It says a realtor found a handkerchief, and I think it has a map, seems pizza related. Wink, wink. Is it true? They could send it if you want it. I know you're busy. Feel free not to respond if it's not yours or if you want it. Person responded, it's mine, but not worth worrying about. Now, before we continue, there are some words that mean different things in code. So, for instance, pizza means girl. Cheese means little girl.
but
Pasta,
who
little
decoded
boy.
that? Who
hot
decoded
dog
that?
means boy. I don't know who.
Well, no, I can tell you that.
But this is
So
okay.
from them reading so many different emails of not just the Clintons, but other people that are more lower named that aren't as like famous in this level, blah, that have been caught in the past for child trafficking and that, the FBI has had access to their stuff. So the behavior analysis people and stuff like that, that like read how you say things and this and that and how whatever, they are ones that have gone through a lot of different emails and stuff, and they develop
looking
a
for
pattern
keywords.
And
yeah.
like that, and they're the ones that find the similarities and stuff. So then when this got leaked, that's how that like kind of came together and said like, oh, well, this could be related to this stuff that was related to this stuff.
So there's 3 more words I want to get out of here. Hot dog is boy. Walnut means the color of a person. Map means semen, and sauce means orgy. So in that sentence that I just explained, they were talking about, what does it say?
I think it has a map that seems pizza related.
Right, exactly. Something
it
about
has
that.
Semen on it that seems like girl related.
Correct. Now they have, hold on, I have pictures of this shit too, because it was like, there's boy lover, girl lover, little boy lover, child lover, and they all have symbols of it. So like child lover is like hearts in the shape of a butterfly type of thing. Little boy lover is kind of like a rounded triangle spiral, if you will. Mm-hmm. Girl lover is like a heart inside of a heart inside of a heart. And boy lover is a spiral triangle, but not so rounded, more triangular. Now, the logo of the pizza shop has all those involved in.
I'm talking about the Comet place?
Yeah. Comet Ping Pong. I don't know what it's called, to be honest with you, but that's apparently the center where all this shit happens.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy, though, when you see the picture, dude. So, like, the picture that they say from the theory of, like, okay, so, like, how you ever heard of, or like how we talked about the Jim Carrey thing when he says, like, they all go naked in the woods and talk and, like, this, that, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Some of the stuff that they follow or whatever, one of the, like, the demonic gods or whatever has, like, these 2 moons with like a star in the middle and this and that, and the Comet logo. So it says the word Comet and it has these like 4 things on the side, and it has those exact same things on the outside in the same way that it is at the picture without having the devil in it. So again, it is a theory. Exactly. It's not saying it's proven, but that's why, again, people are linking it or thinking it to that or whatever.
This is what I was talking about to you, Joe, the other day about like the emails and shit. Because you're like, how do you know? Where did you get these emails from? What people? This is kind of what I wanted to get into, because like Frank mentioned, there are people who go through the emails when they get hacked and they try to look for patterns or keywords and shit. A lot of things in here. All right, I'm going to read another one real quick. It says, hey.
The email?
Yeah. Just a quick message. It goes, we know you're a true master of cuisine, and we have appreciated that for years. But walnuts sauce for the pasta? Why? Was it tasty? Truly, tell us. And then it goes, it's an amazing dish. It's made with crushed walnuts made into a paste. Now, it sounds like nothing because it's just like, yeah, crushed walnuts and paste. But if you think about it, like if you were to break it down into that based on what I'm suggesting and believing, is that
you don't have to defend that because code is a real thing. Like drug dealers and stuff like 100%. That. Everybody talks in code through messages and stuff that doesn't want to be found out for some illegal activity. So that's not something you have to like, you know what I mean? That's definitely common.
To what I just read, it sounds like they just killed a little boy, person of color, for the semen and then killed him. I don't know, raped and killed him. It's what it's.
Well, that's the thing. That's up for debate. What the decipher is
we don't know.
What could not be. But the fact of saying that, and I'm not saying that these emails mean exactly what you're saying, but the fact of it being out there, and then so what I was going to mention about like Comet is and stuff, they had something because there was an FBI document that was like released about like them specifically being looked into or being investigated and stuff, and they had a secret kill room that was like a metal room that was in the basement, and they claimed that it had underground tunnels and like child trafficking. And this is something that we've mentioned, like again, even
but
with
they
like
found that.
Pablo
That's
Escobar
real.
and
That's not
stuff.
Somebody
like,
was just thinking it. There's pictures of it.
Yes, no, I know. That's what I'm saying. Even like with Pablo Escobar and stuff, like the tunnels, that stuff is all real in the drug world. So to think that it's not possible for human trafficking is just crazy. You know what I mean? But I know why he keeps doing that face is because in the sense of it being all linked. But there's organized crime for drugs. So for it to be this is not, you know, crazy.
No, you're not wrong, right? It makes sense. If it works for drugs, you could sure as hell do it through, you know,
It's just crazy to me to think,
bro. There's been some
sense
crazy,
of the Clintons, like what you were gonna say, D. Sorry,
it's just like, bro, I get like all this crazy shit, like the trafficking part, like all makes sense, as ridiculous as it sounds, but it's like once you start linking it to like the Clintons and like they're
that's what I was just gonna say.
I mean, they're killing little boys for their semen, and it's like that's where it's like.
I don't agree with killing him for his semen.
But Joe, listen.
But because I was going to say, like Joe would say,
how do you know?
In linking it to the Clintons, why do the Clintons specifically have 100% not being found out rate for like at least 40, 50 years now?
Listen,
they've been rich. That you know what I mean? Like, how could they have not been found out for this, but Jeffrey Epstein was? Why?
It's like they're
right.
That
makes
especially if it is in the middle of pizza businesses and shit.
Yeah, Joe.
I don't know. Nothing.
Listen, I'm not saying that this is true.
I know you're not right,
but I just want you to have an open mind with this and be like, okay, well, could it be maybe? Because I know, bro. Listen, I love you, but I know.
Joe, just give him one.
No, I don't even want one. I know that when I say things, he's like, bro, that's ridiculous, and he stops listening, and he's just like, it's too ridiculous.
He hasn't done that tonight.
I've listened to everything
but I'm
you
saying,
guys have said. I'm not
in
even
general. Usually, he's like, bro, no way. And then that's it. He's like, I'm done. Whatever you're going to say next, it doesn't even matter. I stopped listening 3 minutes ago.
Well, if you don't keep going crazy, like they wanted for him for the semen with it. And we talk about like what we were mentioning leading up to that. He was with us all up to that. And then once you said the semen thing, I saw his face. That's when you lost him. His head went in his hands. And
I know. I
had to fuck. Really? They killed him for semen? Like you were great with the emails and everything. And then
two things off of that, because I haven't said anything. Two things off of that. I
fucked up. I'm sorry.
No.
Sauce means orgy, not semen. It says walnut sauce. Right, so in code, it would mean person of color orgy.
Okay, go, Joe.
Anyway, let's just say it goes along the lines with what you're saying. Maybe they do know that these are the code words for, because she's the fucking, they're the Clintons.
She was the first lady.
Maybe they know that these are the code words for child trafficking. And they use the same code words to fucking make people go crazy and think of something else when really it actually has a different meaning. So who's to say that yous are even right? Maybe they're making you guys flabber around and it means something totally different, just so that we sit here and we think we know what it means because of what other fucking code words. You know what I mean? It's just like when you start,
not a bad point, but
when you start reaching out so much, it gets so out of control. It's like anything we say could make,
I was gonna say, I think that's a reach because like in the sense of like, again, if we take it back to like drugs or things that have been found out already or stuff like that.
It is
someone
reach,
that's
the reason why I'm saying it is to kind of fucking make fun of the situation because it's like, bro, it's always such a, you can come out with reaches all over the place and it kind of just turns into any topic you talk about is just like, there's no
I always say, he always goes with the crazy reaches. I try and keep it as
there's always a million other fucking possibilities, bro. It's like instead of just sticking with what's happening and past, present, and future statistics and this and that and what you could see, it's like you could just sit here about anything and say, oh well, what if? And then we'll never know it's true. It's like everything, it's just like, what are you doing to yourself? I feel bad for you, bro. Are you driving yourself crazy?
Bro, you know what? Don't feel bad. It's just that we all
hold on. Second of all, Second of all, they're the fucking Clintons, bro. Okay, listen, hold on one second.
I'm glad you said that.
Let me just finish. Like, you have to be a total fucking dumbass if you think you're not going to be watched. You are the president's wife. You are running for president. You know what I mean? If you think you're going to use code words like this, meaning what you think they're actually meaning, it's like, how do you think you're not going to get fucking caught, man? Like,
no, because they still have plenty of smart enough like tech people under their belt that are in the line of duty that are just going to listen to orders that they can definitely still get away with.
You're the Clintons.
There's firewalls. There's
outside of you. Like they're not going to get to you.
Why risk it? Why risk
the army first, and then you're.
What do you mean risk it? Like anybody that's like that, that's been found out, that's been bad, that was in a position of power, that was found out guilty for something or whatever, had exactly like he's saying stages of people in front of them to like take the hit first or whatever. because exactly, you're not the only bad person. You're gonna have other bad people that want to make money with you and this and that, blah, 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 that are gonna be part of your so-called little organization.
That's something so crazy. It's not like she was pocketing fucking $500,000 from one of her campaigns, or you know what I mean? She said something really shitty about somebody in one of her emails, or you know what I mean? This is like child sex trafficking, and you're talking about orgies and killing kids for semen and kids of color and like young ages. It's like, that's serious shit, bro.
All right, check this out. You
don't take a risk by sending multiple emails over several years and expect
you would
to never
if it was
get caught.
Coded and firewalled and this and that, and it was blocked because you had that. Again, they have intelligence. She's a rich fucking white woman that has all these fucking connections and all this stuff. You really think it's that hard for her to keep a secret?
It's really not.
Yes, it is, bro. It's so hard to... Dude,
bro, there's plenty of famous rich people or presidents that have secrets that just came out later. What year do you live in? Look through history. There's plenty of people that kept secrets of things that weren't supposed to be found out, that they were guilty of, that ended up coming out later. Hers just hasn't come out yet, or it could be coming out soon because of whatever.
Listen, there's this pseudo documentary. It's called The Clinton Chronicles by Larry Nichols. And in that, he explains a lot of shit since the early 90s where the Clintons have been involved or been the financer behind over 50 assassinations of their associates or of people who they needed to silence. Bro, listen, I didn't see it. I didn't watch it. Well, I saw a trailer for it. It looked interesting enough for me to probably watch it if I ever come across it, but I'm not gonna like buy it on Amazon Prime or anything. I'll probably just see if it's free on Netflix.
Assassinations.
But think about it, dude. All this shit leads up to the emails that got hacked and her fucking laptop and all this shit that goes on, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I think about it in a different way than you guys do because I think they're doing it for adrenochrome and they could be doing it for other shit. I don't know. So for me, when I'm sitting there and I'm thinking about like, I don't know, Pizzagate or this fucking child trafficking, and it involves the elite, or it involves, I'm not going to say only the Clintons because I'm sure there's other people involved. But
Donald Trump, there was the picture with Epstein and Donald Trump.
I'm not talking about the pictures. I'm talking about like involvement about other shit.
No, I know. I'm saying, but that picture showed that he was, I don't want to say involved with him, but he was there
at the island.
He was there, and they had the picture with two young girls under their arms. You haven't seen that picture?
I did not see that picture.
Oh, I'll show it to you right here because I was just trying to find the one of Bill Gates and him. That's Donald Trump, like young Donald Trump with Epstein with the two young girls. Like, I'm just saying, like, I don't think that, like I said, if there's things like that, because I know there was one that had Bill Gates and Epstein in the island. It was like them, like, because it was from the documentary, him like leaning over the table drunk. And then there was another one, I'm almost positive that was them too with like girls also. And I'd say, like, you don't have pictures of like with them and then be accused of being involved in this stuff and the other guy's not involved. Like, I'm sorry, his name just wasn't.
No, you got a valid point on that.
So like, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I think this stuff is true. Like, that's why the only reason for the Clintons and stuff, like, I think this stuff is true and valid. Like, that they were part of, not the necessarily like, let's go away from Illuminati, but just that they were part of a child sex trafficking ring and that they
it doesn't even have to be Illuminati. Like, it could just be like satanic worshiping shit, rituals or whatever.
I don't even think that. I'm just saying they could have been hosting a child trafficking ring where they were just making a lot of fucking money off of to keep themselves fucking rich.
Could be involved in that. That's true.
You know, because the Clintons are rich. Don't get me wrong, but they're not like one of the richest people in the world. Rich, like they're up there, but there's a lot of richer people than them.
Yeah.
So, what I was saying before about this laptop and the emails, one of the emails got leaked, but then I mentioned this back a couple episodes ago where there was a video of Hillary Clinton doing something to a young child. Do you guys remember what I'm talking about?
No.
And it like
caused... Oh yeah, the iron.
Right. So I just found it. It's a conspiracy. Joe.
I'm listening.
Just relax for a second. It's the conspiracy called Frazzle Drip. And behind that is Hillary Clinton and one of her aides were filmed ironing a child's face and ripping it off and wearing it as a mask before drinking the blood in a satanic ritual sacrifice. Now, I wasn't there. I don't know if it's true or not, but apparently there's a video somewhere. But supposedly Hillary Clinton's video was found on the hard drive
yeah,
by Anthony Weiner.
Right.
And that's when he was exposed for it. And I think it's probably just an addition to like.
But again, someone else that was found guilty that is linked to that name.
Right. Now,
to me, again, they just had so much money to keep covering themselves for now. But at some point, like I tell you, they are someone that is going to be found guilty for that. I do feel that way. I do
agree. And like now this next part kind of sounds a little crazy because I'm like, now I'm just painting a picture of like cartoons and stuff in my mind. But it's like the like satanic Hollywood and the celebrities and the billionaires, everyone who runs the entertainment business are engaged in a pedophilia human trafficking ring, and they're harvesting the supply of life extending chemical from the blood of traumatized children called adrenochrome. Do you, Joe, have any idea what adrenochrome is?
No, Danny, can you please tell me?
I would love to tell you, Joe. Frank, you want to tell him?
It's like something that's produced in our veins when we're like before we hit puberty, when like fear or excitement or something is when fear or excitement is like gone through the body or something, right?
So yes and no. You're right on that for the most part. It's in children. I don't really know, probably before adolescence, I guess, but I did more research on it, and it's a chemical that's produced by epinephrine. So in the Dark Ages, they were filled with plague, and there was accusations of the Jews secretly feeding off of the blood of children. They weren't like decapitating them and drinking the blood out of the fucking spine and shit like that, but they would cut them, they would drain some blood, they would drink it because it is a youth factor. In 2020, there was a rumor that the elites would, or like the global elites would torture children to harvest the chemical adrenochrome from their blood, which they would either inject into their skin to stay healthier and younger, or they would drink it. Either way, it sounds far-fetched, but it's not that far off if you really think about it. All these people go missing. There's underground caves in the exact same location of all the people who are going missing. Where do these underground caves go to? That's a fact. You can Google it. You can Google up map of underground caves in America and then type in map of most missing children. And it will show that the hotspots are exactly where the caves are.
Wow.
And it's crazy. I don't know.
Actually,
adrenochrome was in American Horror Story. If you guys remember a hotel with Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
We talked about that.
Yeah. She was draining the blood to drink it. And dude, if you think about it, like fucking Rockefeller and fucking the Queen, how old are they that they still look how they fucking look?
Yeah.
I mean, I think of like people like Pharrell and like.
What do you mean?
Pharrell is the same. He looks exactly the same as he did 30, 40 years ago.
True. And bro, you think about it, look what happened to Ellen and fucking Madonna. There's a lot of celebrities that look super healthy one day, and then like a week later they're on TV.
Have you seen what Madonna looks like right now?
No, I haven't. But
the amount of plastic surgery this fucking dude did.
Yeah, she's
and the photo shoot she just did. Oh my god, bro! They've ripped her apart on social media. If you didn't see the memes, please.
No, I did not. But she definitely did fall off with the plastic. I will say.
What the fuck, bro? It's all that adrenaline, Danny.
Adrenochrome. I'm glad you're paying attention, Joe.
It's all that adrenochrome that she's been getting at the plastic surgeon's office.
Lack of adrenochrome. That's why she looks like that.
I mean, we were in a pandemic. It was hard for her to get, bro. Give her
a break. It was very hard. Everybody was locked down. Children weren't allowed to roam the streets alone.
I was laughing about the Ryan Reynolds thing when he said, like, did you see his interview on the talk show when he was talking about Paul Rudd and how he got so he showed up for Will Ferrell's interview for his movie. And he was talking about how Paul Rudd got
Paul Rudd, Will Ferrell, and you said Hugh Jackman?
I don't know what Hugh Jackman. It was just Paul Rudd and Will Ferrell. But Paul Rudd got like sexiest, right? Tonight he does. But it was like he got sexiest man of the year or something like that. And
Paul Rudd did by Time Magazine.
Oh, Paul Rudd. Yes.
So Ryan Reynolds was like commenting on it or whatever, and I forgot exactly what he said, but it was funny.
I didn't see that, but you brought something up because there are a lot of times where comedians or celebrities, they'll be on the Ellen show, or they'll be on Jimmy Kimmel, And you know, the host would be like, "Oh, how do you stay so young?" And they're like,
Oh, that's what I was gonna say.
You know,
Yeah,
I drink the blood of children. You know,
that's what I was gonna say. He said that Paul Rudd drinks like the sperm of a blue whale or something like that. He was like, "Oh, I gotta get some of the sperm of the blue whale that he's drinking or something like that." And I was like, "What?" But it's funny because again, like how we always say, everyone in the crowd laughed about it, and the way he said it was funny. But like, imagine if like Paul Rudd was really at home, like drinking blue whale sperm, and that's what was keeping him.
And that's why he hasn't aged since Clueless in 1994. That would have been great.
Yo, I saw a thing where the guy Billy on the Street was with him, and it was Paul Rudd and someone else, and he was asking like, "Who do you think's more sexy?" And she said Paul Rudd, and then he was right there, and she's like, "Oh my God, Clueless, I loved you!" And like,
yeah,
it's funny because I forget that he's the stepbrother in that. You know what I mean? But it's funny. He's been an actor for so long, but never really had like that number one star name until like more recently. You know what I mean? He was never like as big as he is now. Like, but he has been around for a long time, had a lot of small roles, I have to say.
Paul Rudd, yeah, he's been in a lot of movies.
But he is a beautiful man.
Going back to what I was saying though, is like a lot of celebrities will bring that up as a joke in interviews or shit like that. They're like, "Yeah, no, I eat children, and that's how I stay so fresh." And to most people, it's like, "Oh, haha, yeah, sure, yeah, sure." But to people like me who are fucking crazy and nothing better to do, so they just research shit until they fucking become psychotic. I find things, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool. So this guy drinks baby blood, sweet." But back to the human trafficking thing that we were talking about a minute ago. Do you guys remember the Wayfair?
No.
So for a minute, this was the company last year.
There?
The company Wayfair, yeah.
What about them?
Well, apparently there was something that they were.
Tell me about it, please.
I'm gonna tell you about it.
It was a conspiracy. It wasn't a fact.
What?
You want to check it?
What was the conspiracy?
I'm just saying the time. I'm looking at the thing now. It says Wayfair human trafficking conspiracy ? Yeah. So it wasn't a fact.
Well, the word Wayfair, if you break it up, waif is a stray person or animal, and fare is the price charged to transport a person or goods. So they're just, that's what it is. But there was, I don't remember if it was last year or the year before. There was a whole thing, and it was on television too, but I don't think it got too much coverage, I'm assuming. Wayfair was selling their products for like $80,000 or $12,000 for whatever it was. And it wasn't actually like, you're not going to buy a dresser. You're buying a person. The dresser comes for free. So you would send or whatever your credit card information, or it would have like a lot number that you would choose. Or it would have like kids modeling like bathing suits or something. And you would click on what you wanted. And then at the checkout, it would say like, hypothetically, I don't know, $80,000. And then when you click that, you put in a code, and then you would get that fucking child. And that's how they would do shopping. And if something happened where the code got hacked and then it got exposed, so they stopped doing that. And that's why they were like, no, it's not, it's not a real thing. It's just, it was an accident or whatever the fucking case was. It was covered up. You can look that up and you can Google it. That is a true story. That did happen. So just, I don't know what you would look up, honestly. Figure it out. Do your own research.
I'll just type in Wayfair. Yeah, I'll figure it out.
Type in Wayfair, human trafficking or something like that. I don't know. It'll come up.
I am curious to look into that more. I did not hear about that, to be honest.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that either, honestly. So,
honestly, when you broke up the word, just saying that like as a fact, like yes, way and fair. Like a fare is something to pay for something and the way to go somewhere. So like when you say it like that, that kind of gives me a little chill. Like, oh my God, that is fucking freaky. Like,
yeah, but that's the whole point, because Wayfair is it's a transportation company. Like I
don't know much about it.
WAIF, waif. That means a stray person or animal. And then fare, FARE, is the price charged to transport a person or goods.
Yeah, but you're using the F twice, so it kind of sounds silly.
Well, Joe,
that's because they combined the word.
Yeah, come on, like
when you combine two words, you do lose a letter or two, so like that's why.
I got you. I'm just being picky.
Listen, the bottom line is people who have children like yourself need to be paying attention to them at all times, because that shit is real and it happens.
Don't use Wayfair, Frank. Amazon.
I never have,
Prime,
to be honest.
Amazon Prime only, my guy.
But no, I never have used Wayfair, to be honest. But that is crazy to think about, to be honest. To me, that is a little nuts because of like what I was saying earlier. If it is a secret and it is like a drug organization, essentially, blah, 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 and Wayfair was like, okay, in the digital era now, they're like, hey, how can we do this more digitally and not like to our old ways? That is kind of a crazy secret way to think of it. If that was how it's fucking scary, man. Yes, like Joe says, that's stressful to think about.
It is pretty crazy. If that is true, bro, I mean, like, it's just crazy.
Joe,
This shit is real.
Danny, I'm getting a clip of him saying that, and then I'm gonna put it like after you saying something like crazy, like you saying something that he would normally agree with, and I'm like, Joe saying
shit would be crazy.
Crazy to think about, bro.
If it is true, it'd be really fucking wild. But
Shit,
you know. We'll never know, so
we won't. These are all theories, of course. Listen, you
well,
got to do your own
hopefully more
research.
stuff about this comes out with her trial with Maxwell. You know what I mean? I'm really hoping that stuff comes out from her trial, dude. I really want to see some fucking shitty people get exposed because I don't like the idea. I don't like the idea of people just being able to have money and get away with things because we all know at the end of the day that's true to some certain extent. But if it's something like this terrible, they fucking deserve the worst fucking things possible.
Yeah, bro. It's not a fucking joke.
I can agree with that.
Human trafficking is real. Sex slaves are real. Child trafficking, child pedophilia, all this shit, it's fucked up, bro. I will go to jail for the rest of my life if I ever caught somebody.
And for everyone like listening, like I know it's hard in the digital era to like be vigilant or be like aware of things, whatever. It's hard. You're looking at your phone when you're on public transportation, you're doing something, but like don't ever do nothing. Like if you do see something that's out of place, you know, say something, point something out, like do something, be a good person just in that moment, even if you don't think it, oh, I don't know that person, I'm fuck that.
Not my chair, not my problem. Don't think about it like
needs
that.
help sometimes. Shit, yeah. Right, like if you are able to help someone, be that good person, hold the door for them. Like, you know what I'm saying? No, but seriously, you know what I mean? Be like that. Really, I do mean that. Like, cause I honestly feel like if I was like someone that was like Training Day, you know, when he's like, stop the car, that girl's in the alley. Yeah. I feel like if I saw someone like getting like that, like I really would stop like and help them, you know, if I could.
Now you got to think about it like this in two ways.
If I remember correctly, Frank is not going to help us in the middle of a fucking apocalypse.
No, I didn't say that. I said I wouldn't be the scout going out there willing to risk
Frank's running to jail.
I said I'm going to be the mayor calling the shots while you guys are out in the, what was it, a Tahoe? What did Danny say that day?
It was a Lincoln Navigator.
Yeah, Navigator.
And we'll be up there. We're going to fucking modify that shit.
I'm a Magellan GPS.
You know it. You know it. Oh, man. All right. That pretty much sums that up. Thank you everyone for the likes, listens, shares, and follows. Got a shout out to Danny Noodles again because he's always listening. Love that kid. Danny, man. A lot of people have been texting me, telling me they love it, they like it, they laugh about it. We appreciate everyone who's listening out there. Thank you.
Absolutely do.
All right, everybody have a good day. Enjoy your shit.